this time we got ourselves some 2D art. Now we're actually going to make sure we get a decent focus for you. We're going to have to go over this a few times as people come in. We got ourselves a couple of Italian battleships, actually, World War II era. And let's see. That's what we're looking at there, a little bit of a color picture of that. This is your lead ship is the Littorio. Right here you can see we got some nifty little dazzle camo going on. And of course you've got it's part of the Regia Marina, or as I like to call it, my barbershop fleet. So here is kind of what turned me on to doing this. These are some Cruel Seas ships. This is from Warlord Games. There you go. This is actually a video here that is on my YouTube channel right now. I got three Cruel Seas tutorials right now. You can check these out. And like I said, on the YouTube channel, just look for Cruel Seas. Got some nice weathering there. We got some dazzle camo, right? You see those references down in the corner there. Sorry about that, and had to sneeze. That's better. What we're going to try and do is some object source lighting here. So see the reference pictures here and over on the other side there. We're going to see if we can't get some of that going right here. Okay. And as more folks come in, you're going to be seeing stuff like this. So this is what I used to do before painting miniatures. And if you look at my blog, it's just wappeliusblogspot.com. You go to the 2D art section, you're going to see all kinds of different spacescapes, landscapes. This is a really old piece here. This goes back a long time when I was using the pastels, but look at the yellows there. You got orange, you got green. So I thought this would be interesting for folks. Again, 2D art principles used on 3D figures. But here we're going back to 2D. We're going to use mostly pro acryls over here. So check this out. We've got a whole line of them here. We got some of the dark blues, the dark gray blue, sky blue, ultramarine blue. Probably going to throw, I would say a little touch of maggot white out here. This is a Reaper color right there. There you go. I'm going to have to adjust the focus on this probably a few times. Probably a couple times. Just as I hold this thing, I might have to hold it at weird angles. Also, another thing to keep in mind. Hey, beef in the hole.
Hello, little hobbit. Spark my ganja.
Thanks, Ivarency. And if I have mispronounced that, definitely let me know. Definitely tell me out. So see, this is basically flat to the camera. So if it looks a little bit squished, it's because I've got it on an angle like so. We are also, for fun, we're going to employ some of our fluorescent colors over here. That should be interesting. So what I'll do is going to do some overall stuff here, and then as we work along on this thing, we'll focus a bit more on it. So I'm going to get myself a little more light right there. Now we'll start off as transparently as possible. This is almost going to look a little bit watercolor-ish, I would say, right here as we get this going. Actually, I need myself a little bit of a paint rag here. So that's going to go poof right over there. Touch of that fluorescent orange. We got beef doing the emote thing. There's it's an emote. It's a emote attack. It's an emote attack. Wow, look at this. I have not actually used the fluorescent stuff in 2D whatsoever. This is pretty wild stuff here. This is pretty wild. Wow. I'm gonna have me some fun with this, I think. Now I do actually really, it's interesting the layout of especially the armaments on different countries' ships, different philosophies. Now these are essentially the Roma class ships here, and these were meant for holding on to an excited weenie next to a nervous banana. Well, you know, the weenie never quite knows if the banana's going to get hungry, or is the weenie going to get hungry for the banana. One never knows. Alright, so I just wanted to put this stuff out here just to get a little indication. This is, yes, as always, our big old number 12 crap. We could use something bigger too. I mean, we got some flats. Oh, look, it's it's a 12 flat. Oh, this might actually be an interesting. This could be interesting for folks to see the kind of the difference in the two. Let's get ourselves some sky colors over here. Now some of this may wander out of view for you. I do apologize for that if it does. But again, we're just gonna go nice and watercolor here. I want to still be able to see that drawing underneath there. And fortunately, it's not going to be shiny for very long either, since acrylics, you know, just like with the miniatures, guess what? Acrylics in 2D, they got just as messy of a stage. Just gonna drive some of this in here while it is still while it's still wet. We're gonna put a touch of our darker tones up here. You can see we're just kind of scumbling all this on. Well, now, how convenient is that? We got ourselves another. Well, she does double duty as 2D art and miniature painter. But check out her Skelly and Scully pictures. Because, yes, Jinx Art, follow her. I was just watching her stream right before I started this. Actually, I might still have that on my phone. I might still have that going there. So, thank you so much for the raid. We'll welcome it at Teals. It's at Teals. Also, yes, follow Teals. You're going to get a fun show there, too. Just follow everybody. Follow them all. I got to decide here, what's my horizon line going to be? And I'm going to go kind of classic here. We're going to go with sort of a warmer color here on our horizon line. Again, trying to keep enough of my drawn here intact. However, we're also going to get ourselves some ship colors working here. Again, all of this stuff, gotta lay it out fast. Gotta lay it out fast. Oh, this is another thing too. You can't really see it very much here, but this is one of the unique properties of Italian ships, is this torpedo blister right here that, as it turned out, didn't really work too well. Found out the hard way at Toronto. And no, that's not in Canada. That's in Italy. We're going to do some finger painting too. And much like, see that picture over there on the left-hand side? Ah, Bookend Kitties. How are you doing? Yeah, I rated myself the Skull Collector. Yes, for sure, guys. Follow Jinx. Catch great art. You will be glad you did. Where are we at here? Yeah, let's get this. Another round of it. Now, hey, this is the first time I've had a chance to use fluorescent paint on 2D art. I mean, how do you resist that? How do you freaking resist that? You don't. You don't resist it. Alright, gun barrels here. There will be some source lighting here. Where else? Sides of the superstructure here. So yeah, this class of ship was designed to counter the French Dunkirk class of ships. And the Richelieu. Now, the French and the British were into the whole weird turrets of a dual turret and then a quad mount. Italians were in the triple turret thing. Their secondary guns were mounted in a more interesting turret position than U.S. ships. And this right here, this anti-aircraft platform right there, that's the dude that's got the worst job in the ship is this dude, because he's sitting on the back end of something that's firing, I believe, 15-inch shells, either 14 or 15-inch shells. Slap that paint on there, baby. Well, good night, Bookend. Thanks for following the raid to this crazy point here. Now we got a little bit more of a grayish blue here. Give that a touch of red. Ooh, touch of the orange. Touch of the orange here. I want to see just how much of this dark do I want here. Maybe not quite so much. We're just going to feel our way through this, baby. That's what we're going to do. There. Just taking advantage of some of the translucency of the fluorescence. Okay, we got that. We want some silhouetting going on here too. Now let's get some stuff going on in this water here. Hey, we got gridlock sis. Oh, and Gasmania. Yes, 2D, 2D. Did I not promise? Did I not promise? So this is actually it's a birthday present for a friend of mine. We play Bolt Action together, so I thought I'd do a little something fun for him here. Let's do some wet into wet down here as well. Let's get some of that sky blue in here as well. Let's make sure we've got a darker horizon line to work with here. Otherwise, any kind of a wake, not going to make a whole lot of sense. That needs to be dark. And that is going, ooh, let's get a little bit of that blue right here, and then bam. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's get a little sky blue down here. And as always, going to look like an unholy mess at the start. We need this darker too. That needs to be another darker. We're going to use some of that ultramarine, faded ultramarine there. Okay, getting ourselves some wave action. How do we want this to go? We want it to go this way. Just some more churn here. What's going to happen over here? Is that going to be lighter, darker? We'll start darker this way, and then go a little lighter. Poof, this way. I wish I had one of my seascape. Oh, actually, since we got some more folks in here, I'll show you some. I only was able to load up a couple of my old 2D art pictures. So this one, actually used to paint that same wolf on Celtic drums. This was actually made into a puzzle at one point, which I couldn't put together because I kept thinking all the individual pieces of this. So yeah, couldn't put the puzzle together. This was from the old Babylon 5 days. So this, we used to take stuff like this to conventions and such. That was a lot of fun. And then this goes back even further. So when I talk about yellows, and I'm talking about orange and greens, right? But yet it all reads as yellow. That's what I'm talking about. Now, it's an old pastel painting from back in the day. And this is what kind of got me turned on to Italian ships, the Regia Marina, as I call it, my barbershop navy. And yes, those are recognition stripes. So there's your Roma class battleship. That is what we are working on here. Specifically, the Littorio is the lead ship. So you see we got our Dazzle camo, and yes, we still have our barbershop markings. It's my favorite part of the Regia Marina. You just can't resist. Cannot resist. Let's get some darks in here now. Okay, I'm just using number 12 flat right here. Let's get ourselves some shading in on this. We'll go also with the number 12 round, but for now, got to get some darks going here. If we want to have, so believe me, this is very different from the reference picture. The reference picture showed this essentially just kind of gleaming white against the blue sky, but I wanted to have more of that nighttime style view here. Let's start to get ourselves some gun barrels, as you do. So those are your forward firing turrets. I'm like, what the heck is this doing over here? These are the 6-inch guns mounted in triple turrets. Really unusual location. Now, I think, well, the Nelson and Rodney class, they don't really count because they were just weird ships to start with. But their secondary mounts or secondary armaments were kind of weird places too, to say the least. So here's that AAA mount, local rangefinder.
Hello, little hobbit, spark my gun, John.
We got ourselves a follow from Tiki. Thank you so much for the follow. Now this is actually the Veneto back here. So you got the Littorio here. This is the Veneto over here. The Veneto didn't do so well at Toronto. And I believe it the Roma that was. No, it wasn't the Roma. Actually, a couple of Italian battleships were sunk by British planes, German ships. Yeah, the Italian Navy had a rough time of it, to say the least. They did not have an easy time. Mare Nostrum didn't quite work out the way they thought it was going to work out. So again, these are actually the aft 6-inch mounts that you're looking at back here, which is, to me, is just the craziest freaking thing. But I know to most folks that means absolutely squat. We got chunky chicken style. Is landscape or still life something you'll be doing much going forward? Actually, I want to do a whole range of things. I want to do some, well, I've been challenged to do some Bob Ross style landscapes. So in oils, of course. So we'll do that. But the other thing that I wanted to do actually is some sculpting, some portrait sculpting. So as you can see here, where did you go? Is it this one? So you can see with me, portraits, I love doing portraits, and likenesses were a thing. So it would be really fun if I could sculpt probably somewhere between 1/6 and 1/10 scale, just some busts. Heck, I might even do a Jacquard bust. Oh my gosh. What am I thinking? I gotta do a Jacquard and a Lando bust. I mean, hello? Yes? I think that would be fun. That would be, thank you. Actually, thanks, Chunky Chicken Style. You just gave me an idea here. That's got to happen. Oh, good night, Jinx. Take care. Yeah, I don't think we got ourselves a plan. Because I was going to sculpt basically Eowyn and Galadriel, Lord of the Rings style. But, well, in addition, I'm thinking I got to do that. I got to do a Jacquard sculpt. It'll be one of a kind. Obviously there will be no replications made of that whatsoever. It'll be a one of a kind sculpt. That's it. And then I get to paint it, because that's going to be fun. All right, so we're just starting to lay some of these things out. Here, let's get some lighter tones in our water here now. Down here, let's a little bit of sky blue here. There we go. Okay, we're just trying to break up this surface as much as we can. Now over, I got to decide what's going to happen with that. What's going to happen? Is this going to just get more of a grayish look to it here? Kind of an ashen gray. Is it? How much do we want to go with this? And we actually had some smoke on the horizon here too in the reference picture, which of course I just don't quite have here. All right, guys, so a little bit of smokage going on here. We'll get some of that. I think a little bit more of our fluorescent orange mixing in here, kind of give it a brownish look. A little red too. There we are. And I'm thinking, okay, we got the lower barrels here. Just gonna move all this around. Still got our number 12 around here. Let's get that, some of our fluorescent in it too. Let's start to think about a bit of our object source lighting here. Let's get some of that on this hull. Let's get some more of it out here. We want some of that on this ship too. How's a little bit more. And we can, like I said, we can work opaque on this. If I bring out the, what was that, the titanium white there from Pro Acryl, that's going to give us a nice, that'll give us a nice blotting out of the backdrop too. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Jinx Dart got to get cleaned up. See you later. Let's see. Chunky Chicken Style says, I'm not sure what YW is, but says, I have no idea. So that was what I was thinking about moving forward. You know what? I'm seeing a little bit. Yeah, let's get a little bit more orange in here. Let's see. Yeah, the still life, it was never really something that I did very much of. It was all about, especially for me, portraits. Like I said, you head over to the blog. It's just wappeliusblogspot.com. You will see plenty of 2D art there. Here, let's get some of that Pro Acryl pale yellow sitting out here. I'm going to grab another brush. Again, going to go in here with some of the fluorescent, some of the yellow. I'm actually going to throw in a little more. Where's my fluorescent yellow? There we go. A little touch of that orange. I'm going to have to put out some more orange too. Look at that. Can get some of the lighter effect going here. Nice thing is we can always, again, go back into that. Put some transparent glazes over the top too. Again, because it's acrylics, not oil, so yay, us. Alright, let's get a little bit of a wake going here. Let's have that hit that wake just a touch. Another wake over here. Let's lighten some things up. Just gonna look, just looking around, see what's all heading out in the chat. More fluorescent orange over here. Very fun to actually use this stuff for the first time in 2D. There'll be some wet into wet. There'll be some glazing. There's going to be, well, anything goes. Well, I mean, is it any different from miniature painting? I'm thinking no. Not different from miniature painting. Hashtag not different. Superstructure here. So yeah, it's interesting. You had the British and the French and the Italians all had the tower bridge style. But the active U.S. ships of the time, they still had those tripod masts and were looking very much like World War I dreadnoughts. Those didn't stay around very long. I mean, yeah, you had like the New Mexico class and the South Dakota class. Oh, we have Calvadia. How are you doing? Yeah, this is going to be very fun getting this yellow in here now. Very fun. And it is all about the underpainting at this point here. It's all about that underpainting. Again, more that reflected light there. I see we've got another wave to be doing there. And then over here, now we'll switch back to some regular wake color. Now this is not a wet palette, so I may have to just keep throwing out more paint as you do. We've got a touch of our little touch of maiden flesh here. Again, these ships heading forward. These were fast battleships. They could do 30-ish knots. Probably I would say 20, 28, 29 for a extended period maybe. I don't know if they were designed to be quite that fast. And yes, I apologize if I bore folks with the specifics of ship construction and propulsion. Oh, let's see. Thank you. Well, I actually I got cake in the form of pizza. That was a very interesting thing today. Yeah, it actually the cake arrived literally in the form of pizza. Actually, it was more like a pizza, which was that was really fun. It was I almost never get a chance to enjoy the kind of meat lover style pizza, so a kind and generous friend actually had it sent. It was delivered here. Had a pizza sent to me, and I most definitely enjoyed that. Oh, I enjoyed that a whole lot. Start to get some more darks in here. So anchor chains go again right about there. Here, let's darken those. So this is actually another local rangefinder right there on the top of that turret, which is just pretty darn crazy to consider. And superstructure wise here, so this had a bit of a round superstructure here. Let's get your bridge windows in there. Let's start to get a little bit of our won't deal with that too much right now. So what you're looking at, you're looking very much something like this, right? We've got it lit from this side here, lit from the bottom. You've got your blues and your grays, orange hitting that side. Especially when you have a ship that is especially kind of a light, you got that light dazzle camo going on. Let's get some more of our shadow here. The hull was pretty much of a flat design here, except where you had the torpedo blister. So a little more finger painting there. Let's get some darks on the aft ship over here. Again, this is the Veneto lead ship. Or no, lead ship is Littorio. Aft ship Veneto. So they're definitely, it's the in-service ships were definitely ahead of anything that was floating around in Hawaii at that point, that's for sure. Most definitely out in front. And we also have where your barrels are going to enter your turret here. Let's give that our triple mount. And as we start to develop a little bit of shading on your guns, you're starting to see a little bit of shape happening here. It's like anything else, don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. Wish I could have done this in oils. That would have been fun. However, let's see. What time is it now? 2:56 a.m. This has to be in the hands of the recipient 12 hours from now. So that's not really enough time for oils to dry. Look at what's happening here. All of this superstructure here is round. Like I said, I can go back here and you can see again a lot of that bridge superstructure is all round, different levels, and you can see those AA mounts there sitting on the back of that turret. I mean, that is not a fun job, I'm telling you. I would not want that job, like, at all. Hashtag not interested. No, sir. That ain't for me. Skyward here. What are we going to do on that sky? What are we going to do? We're actually just going to give our brush here a bit of a clean. Let's see what we can do here with... Oh, I'm going to chuck out some bright ivory here, like you do. Some of that mixed with our sky blue here. There we go. So it's also another way of cleaning up some lines. Then we'll just get the rest of this going here. Again, not shy about finger painting, like at all. Not shy about it. I'm going to get myself a little more light down here at my horizon line. Again, you see this scumbling? You've seen me do this on miniatures before. We're certainly going to employ that now. Some more scumbling over here. Let's get more darks in our water here. You can see what's happening. We got some nice little wave action happening. Let's get some dingy blue in there as well, not just all one shade of blue. I also have to have it going in the opposite direction, otherwise, again, a little bit of finger painting right there. Let's put a little more finger painting there. Hashtag fingers. Fingers are fun. Maiden flesh into that. Get a nice little bit of a gray going here. That's it. We might steal a little bit more of our object source lighting on that. However, I'm looking for a little bit of reflected light on the hull before we snag ourselves. Where's one of my liner brushes here. Let's get some yellow in here. So this torpedo blister here, let's get some highlight on that. We have Bethany. Let's see. Oh, now I apologize. There's object source lighting on here. You thought, hey, it's 2D art. It's safe, and it's like, what? It's still not safe. What the heck? So I apologize. I apologize. Yes, 2D art, even that still has object source lighting. But it's important. It's important. There. So we really, believe me, that this picture is nothing like, well, first of all, it was black and white, but second of all, nothing at all like the original. Believe me. Oh my gosh. The broad daylight, as in like bright sunny daylight. Now speaking of light, let's have some gouts of flame here. I mean, these things are it's basically hurling a Prius about 25, 27 miles, so it should have a little bit of a flash. And when that Prius hits you, man, that's gonna hurt. Especially a rifled Prius. Oh, yes. I apologize. I do apologize. I just can't resist. I don't get to talk historicals like at all anymore. So this is me. Hey, I'm gonna count this still as my birthday, since I basically have been awake for about 85% of my birthday. I'm gonna count this as still my birthday. All right, so we get our Yeah, let's get a little back here on the Veneto. Get a little more glow there. Now this is going to need, so we got our bright thing. We need to get that into the darker range as well. So I'll get our orange into that. And then, I was thinking some burnt sienna might also be fun. Sorry about that. If my voice is dodgy, it's just because, well, I've been voicing a lot today. There's been a lot of voicing. Oh, look at that. Look at that lovely burnt sienna work its way into there. I think a touch more. Let's get our fluorescent orange working in here. And now we've got ourselves some kind of like waves of this plume right here. Like so. As that gets a little bit closer, get some of our yellow into that, so get a little more definition there. All of a sudden our little, those jets of, and boy, you should see, oh my gosh, they've got some modern day pictures of the, like the Iowa, Missouri, firing those 16-inch guns, and the water literally gets blown this way and blown out this way. It is just unbelievable, the concussive force. Well, again, when you're chucking a Prius between 20 and 30 miles, stuff's going to happen. So now our lead ship here is going to, well, become the lead ship. We'll mix some of our blue into our burnt sienna at the outer edges of our blast here. Start to soften that with a little bit of scumbling now. And then we even give it a little bit of, see, not a complete edge, but see how we're making this billowed cloud effect. At least that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. That's the goal anyways. That is the goal. I might have to throw some more of my fluorescent orange out there. Not a big deal. Let's get back here on the Veneto. We're going to make that a little bit cooler. We're going to mix more of that. More of the, here we go. That's what we needed. Oh, happy birthday. Yours is tomorrow. Painting the Ottoman Empire. That is very relaxing. You will have to... Now, do you have any pictures already yet of that on Facebook at all? But definitely show me pictures of that because I can't wait to see it. That will be very fun to see. So we're just kind of, again, alternating between the more watery type style and something that's a little bit more opaque. Now we start to bring out some of the, maybe some more details here. Let's get this local control rangefinder with a little bit of shadow, and also poor slob in the AA mount there. Another, again, local rangefinder right there. Let's get a separation between these guys. Same thing here. Oh, let's get the little bit of almost a bluish reflections, and the other side of the superstructure kind of is going to give us a little bit of roundness to it. At least that's the plan. That's at least the plan. And I'm just going to, I know we got windows there, so I will bring those back. But for now, we got stuff to do over here. I bring out the anchor housing, another anchor housing. Gonna do a little bit of directional brush strokes here. Let's churn up some more wake over here. We are going to, I think, get some more of our orange going here on the deck. There were definitely also some AA mounts, like just literally open AA mounts sitting forward like that of the super firing turrets. Okay, we'll knock down that effect just slightly there. Let's throw out some more of our fluorescent. Oh, let's see. Oh, Deadbeat Artist, how are you doing then? Well, actually, so should I, because it's 3:08 in the morning, and like I said, there's been very little, if any, sleep today. So yeah, I should actually be sleeping right now instead of doing this. But is what it is. We're having a late night party here. That's what we're doing. Let's see. Bethany has no pictures yet. Fell in love with the Babylon Tower and painted it in blue glazed tiles. Yes. Then to justify buying it, I got the army to stand around it. To justify the army, I had to get all the extra bits. It's 4:08 on the East Coast, that's for sure. See, that's definitely my approach to army building and painting. It's like, oh, I came up with this. People will say, they're like, Jim, you did an army just so you could make that display board. Or those bases. It's the only reason you got that army, is just to do those stupid bases. That's the only reason why you know it. As I cannot confirm nor deny. I cannot confirm nor deny. That may or may not have been the case. Let me get some more of my... This is the Pro Acrylio. I do like it that it has some opacity to it. It's also nice to just be able to squeeze out some paint and actually be able to really dig into it and use it. Alright, superstructure. We also need just a touch of our lighting over here. This actually makes me think of, I think it's a painting that I saw of, it must be, is it, not Port Arthur, the Battle of Tsushima, I think it was, right? Pre-World War, as the Russian-Japanese war, and they had a painting of, it was the ships firing, and it was definitely kind of a twilight sort of lighting circumstance, and that was really nifty. Here, I'm gonna chuck a little bit of the white in here to get some. Now this has to, I would say, continue a bit more this way. That's better. And then we can even break that up some more too. Let's break it up a little more. Some darker veins in it, as you do. Kind of alternating the lighter and darker. Out here, oh, let's do the same thing. Let's just have that get a little darker as it goes out there. And as I just go along with this, I can start to say, all right, where do I want some more light to be? Which shape is more important? Which one is not important? So that's gotta be dark there. Let's give our... That hull needs its prow. So does this one. Just gonna do again a little bit of finger blending there. Because, you know, finger blending. Let's see. Really like how you're laying down color. It's so fun. I mean, it's really fun to just kind of be on the carefree side with things, but yet still, it's carefree with organization. Now we can even bring these out a little more, get a little more sharpness to those. We've got back here, these are your 6-inch mounts on the aft part of the ship, just like what we got here. All right, here's our... Let's get some more structure on that bow. Let's get some more structure here on the hull.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my gun, John.
So thank you so much for the follow the comfy maneuver. Thank you. It is much appreciated. Gandalf appreciates it too. Oh, Bethany, were you around? I don't know if you heard in the original stream. Just because of, well, unfortunately, one of our Lord of the Rings cast members is now not quite... he's definitely gone off to the Grey Havens. What I was going to do was a diorama. I'd always wanted 20, well, what would you say, 17 years of playing Lord of the Rings, and I never once did any terrain of a Hobbit hole. And I thought, I've got the Bilbo Baggins, I got the figure, right? I got the miniature. It'll take about 2 seconds to paint him, but if I were to do a diorama of Bag End and him kind of standing in front of it, that could be a fun project, I'm thinking. So that's a little project that got sort of added today. I completely forgot about that. I'm glad that I remembered now. I thought that would be a really interesting, that'd be a fun thing to do, but kind of a nice way to, a little bit of a remembrance maybe. Again, thinking some reflected light on my hull. Gonna grab some of that faded ultramarine. So this is kind of transparent right here. Again, gonna use the old finger there to get that to blend a bit. I'm gonna make sure that I've got my focus for you. Oh, let's do this. We haven't done this yet. Zoink. So, yeah, that's more like what my original picture looks like that. That's what I'm working from. I'm just having to interpret all of the color. Oh, hey, comfy maneuver. I'm having fun, actually. Now, let's see. Deadbeat Artist is my first painting mentor. No English for me. Would say about finger blending, lick it and stick it. And he would lick his thumb and sweep. I'm going to sweep the color right back into this. There. There we are. I think this is... Oh, wow. I used to do the acrylics in a very watercolor style because I was having just so much trouble with the watercolors trying to figure out that notion of a cool, intense color will actually go out and will actually draw your eye more than a subdued, warm color. And trying to understand that drove me so nuts. I was not figuring it out. I was ready to just kind of give up on painting. And then I just started doing acrylics. and I did them like this. It was like semi-watercolor. And it was an eye-opener. It actually kind of saved painting for me. Sort of glad that it did. So now we're going to just start to work in. We just did really broad areas here. Let's start to give those a little bit more than just, yeah, let's get the darker blues in here. Let's start to cut this down into some smaller shapes, shall we? Some smaller attached shapes. And you can see we're kind of giving the ridge lines on those a little bit of a dark. So here with our wake, we certainly want to have some dark in front of that. Let's maybe even make it a little bit darker right here. Even darker here. Let's break this up some more. Now let's see. I'm gonna see if I can get my bridge windows in here now, because that's a really defining sort of thing. Nothing like those. It just kind of, I don't know. It's like windows on a house. Windows on a house. Let's get a nice little bit of separation here between these elements of the superstructure. Now, I guess at some point, boy, the Japanese battleships with those crazy pagoda superstructures, I mean, they look so top-heavy. It just in comparison, now actually there's some, actually had lifeboats sitting on top of the turrets back here. I think the U.S. ships did the same thing. Ah, okay, there we go. Now we've got a little bit more. We got to get this to be more like an armor plate and less like our waves. That's better. Gonna do a look at this little wet blending here. Yeah, that's acrylics, but yeah, we can still do wet blending, even though it's acrylics. And this is a little bit of faded ultramarine. Do we have a genuine vision in the house? Hey, genuine, how's it going? Yeah, this is me having some fun with object source lighting, but in 2D. Actually, for here you can see this is some. I only had a chance to load up a few pictures here, but this is what I used to do long before miniatures. So this is stuff that I used to paint all the time in watercolors. Actually, we just came up with the plan now because I was going to sculpt those Lord of the Rings figures like Eowyn and Galadriel, but now we're going to sculpt Londo and Jakar because reasons. Hello. And this goes way back. So this is a pastel that I did back in art school, and this is what I like to show with yellow here. Now Jinx is back. We're just kind of going over again. See that green there? That's in the. Oh, you can't see my cursor, but on their one leg, you can see the green right there. Well, now you know why every time I paint yellow, that's why you see all that green and such in the yellow. Yeah, let's do a little bit more of our. Get some of this. We need some more of our blue over here. So sky blue. We'll mix it with a touch of our maggot white over here. Oh no, that's actually the Pro Acryl. That's the Pro Acryl pale yellow. I'm just looking to get a little more turn in this. Let's darken that down just a bit. Just a bit, because this part of your superstructure's got to have that rounded look. And again, poor slob in the AAA mount over here. I cannot emphasize enough. And these again, you're chucking a Prius 20-30 miles, and you're standing basically on top of the gun that's doing that. And by the way, there's 3 of them. That's not going to go well for your innards. That's just going to basically churn those up. Now we're going to get ourselves some nifty lighting here. We've got those double A mounts. We've got an anchor. Got an anchor mount over here. So we'll just bring up the Roma here. So okay, you can see a little anchor mount in the front. That's what we're after. You got your castings there, and see your rafts up on top of the canted turrets like that. And then look up at the superstructure. You can see you got that rounded look going on. Oh, and genuine. I don't know if you saw these. This is some of the 1/350 scale ships that I painted for my Cruel Seas Regia Marina. There's a Gabbiano class corvette. And this is again the ship that we are painting right now. The Littorio in all of its dazzle camo glory. Let's get yes. So this is gonna be a little bit of semi-translucent going on here too. A little finger blending. Ooh, let's do some more finger blending. That's fun. Finger blending is fun. I'm just going to keep saying that every time I get to finger blend. Finger blending is fun. Ooh, let's get a little more of our orange into that. Okay, again, that's not another 16-inch turret. That's actually 6-inch guns firing. It's probably very rare that you would have your primary and secondary armament firing at the same time, because from 15-20 miles away a water splash just looks like a water splash, and you're like, which ones did we miss with? The big ones or the little ones? Of course, Japanese battleships, their anti-aircraft guns fired literally the stuff that was dyed different colors. So you'd see basically it looked like a bunch of Skittles, or like, I don't know, M&Ms up in the sky, all these different colors. So each ship had its own color. So this way you would know who was firing where, which just, you learn some really interesting things when you listen to Navy guys talking ships on YouTube. You'll learn interesting stuff. You don't learn how to finger blend, though. Drakenfell actually is one of the guys that I listen to very often. There. Again, we're just kind of building this up here. Now I think I'm going to hit a couple of lighter spots on my superstructure like you do. Yep, let's do that. Okay, again, more of the range control, rangefinder action. I think I'm going to just take this straight up white here. I'm going to throw out some more of my fluorescent yellow. We'll just make that as white hot as we can, coming right out of that barrel. There we go. We needed that. It's definitely projecting that forward. We'll touch a regular yellow in there. And sorry I keep putting that on a little bit of an angle for you. Okay, there's our torpedo blister. Wake, like you do. Let's get some of that. Let's get some of our bow highlighted here. Nah, don't like that. We're just going to wipe it away. Get more wake on the side of our ship. Then let's do a quick little black and white thing here. Just go whoosh. So back to the reference that I originally saw. Alright, we're starting to get some more color in here. Finger blending is definitely fun. I did some of the B5 Shipmasters for Mongoose back in the day. Oh man, I never got a chance to paint any of the, oh gosh, was it just Babylon 5 Wars, right? Because that was their ship combat game. There was this, oh, it's still black and white. Let's make it color again. You just got me excited talking about the B5 ships. Never got a chance to paint those. I did, you know, the Centauri ships were very fun. I don't know how difficult it was to assemble, say, the Earth ships. But that must have been pretty wild. Geez, I can just imagine what that would be like with today's 3D sculpting methods. That would be interesting. Now let's, this one's got to be towards the back. So we're going to start to darken some of this down here. Again, finger painting. Let's do that. More. That's the color that I'm looking for here too. Yes. And yes, that's the little liner brush that I like to use on miniatures, right? We're using it most aggressively here on some 2D art. Also going to do some of this. Knock some of this down. And then we're going to go back into our faded ultramarine here. I'm going to take a touch of the white in there. And my goal is to get right in here. Yeah. Get that to be coming forward. Now, the bridge here, we need to get rid of that, a whole bunch of that dark line. Start to reinforce some of those windows. So the British ships also, they had the tower superstructure as well. They were very much into the tower superstructure. The U.S. was kind of late to that particular party. And again, I believe it was either New Mexico or North Dakota class that kind of gave you the design that you're more used to seeing as far as, you know, the general public. They don't really think of the U.S. ships as being, well, just essentially World War I holdovers. Basically antiques at the time the war started. Again, some more of our, let's get some reflected light from the water in here. Again, we're going to do some finger blending here. Because, hello, finger blending is fun. Let's get a little bit more light on our spray here for our wake. And not just only the yellow affected spray and wake. Let's get some just regular wake in there. Trying to break this up into as many shapes as we can. Let's start to break this up a little bit more, maybe. Let's see if we can't do that. Got some of our darker blue here. Oh, gridlocks. This, never received samples of them, unfortunately. Only saw the pictures. Oh, we got Angry Ham back in the house. This is quite the interesting miniature. Let's see, still awake it. Yeah, this is, yeah, we're back into 2D art. This is actually going to be, speaking of birthdays, this is a birthday present for a friend of mine, and this will be in his hand. Well, it is now 3:31, so he should probably have this in his hand. Like I said, in less than 12 hours, this will be in his hand. I've got a frame that is waiting for this. And I basically, the original picture looked a bit more like that. In black and white, we are trying to give it just a wee spot of color here. And we'll bring back our color intensity now. But thanks for joining us on, oh, Wait a minute, it's got to be around here somewhere. Let's do a book of Wappel. Just because, is it this one? Oh, well, there, I am the Lord, thy craft brush. Thou shalt not put sable brushes before me. Oh, that one's good too. Aha! How accurate is this? You can't take the voyage of discovery if you never get on the boat. And me, I like a boat that can do that. Because, you know, if another boat just gets in my way, then that boat won't be around for very long. Because reasons. Let's get a little bit more of our lighter blue down in here because we're reflecting this. Why are we not reflecting that? Let's reflect that. Let's do that here, shall we? Now you will see some more seascape. You'll see me doing some sailing ships, some old-timey, old-style sailing ships, because when I was just a wee lad, and by wee lad I mean like 7, 6, 8 years old, I used to make, they didn't give me model ship kits. I just took modeling clay and I tried to basically make them from scratch. So yeah, I'm gonna have some fun maybe doing some more of these guys, because again, it's fun for me. It may not be fun for other folks, but it's fun for me. Again, we're gonna break this up. So see, we had our reflections of the orange there. Now we're reflecting our sky over here. And let's get a little bit more of our lighter wake on that side, plus a couple more lighter tones on these waves, right on the crests there. A couple more of these. Yeah, because otherwise the nearest thing I get to do freehand on miniature 2D art is on like bases like this. So let's see, the spider under the bed piece sold. Yeah, wasn't that like practically before the show even started, right at the start of the show? Yeah, give that some hype too. You know what? I'm gonna go back in here. Let's get some more of an orange going. Right, we get like a flat line here. We don't want just a flat line there. We want something more than that. We want something broken up. I want to break this line up here too. We're gonna maybe get a little lighter there. This has a whole lot of nothing going on. Let's give that a little something like, see that? Just makes this look a little bit more like a wave and less like just a big old long brush stroke. Start to make these smaller, break them up into smaller waves. We gotta do something here too. Again, that little dip right there makes it look like the water is lapping over in a wave type of fashion. What about here? What needs to happen here? That needs to happen. Again, to break this up here in smaller and smaller chunks. I need one here. Like you do. One here. So we've got this starting to carry all the way down, just like the reference picture that's right underneath it. Those pictures, by the way, are only removed by about, I don't know, 50 some odd years, maybe 60 some odd years. And in entirely different countries' ships. But, you know, no big deal. This needs to be broken into something smaller too. Say like that. I like the idea of taking the fluorescent here. taking this down a notch. Possibly even more over here. Yes, I like that. Makes that part of the wake a little more sense. Now let's get some... Ooh, take some of this and throw a little bit more of my burnt sienna out here. Where did you go? I used all of you up on those crazy little clouds there. Thank you. Okay, we're just gonna throw some of that down there. That just wants to be there. Fine. But what I would like is also some action here on the deck. A little more separation there, and then some nice little darks here, I think. We're doing a lot of lights and middle tones. We need to get back into our darks again. After working with oils so much the last couple of days, I went, oh, that's bad to have my hands sitting there. And I went, oh, yeah, not a big deal. Not a problem. Okay, let's get a little more definition on our gun barrels, and let's get some more definition here. Right at the turret, where the gun meets the turret. Again, poor morons in that mount over there. That is just not a fun place to be, like at all. Let's see if we can solidify these shapes a little bit more too. Yep. All along the superstructure here. I might go back. Yeah, I also have some rigging to do there. But first, our local range control finders here on each of the turrets. Now a little bit more of the, again, that's the faded ultramarine. Let's work some of that again into our superstructure here. Like you do. And now let's do a little bit of mast and rigging type stuff here, because I don't think we're going to mess with the sky a whole bunch more at this stage. And one thing you will notice, just kind of a lack of, you see all kinds of rangefinder stuff. Basically the Italian theory of, well, we don't have radar, but we got lots of shooty things. It was kind of the, more DACA approach to naval warfare. Which is why when you look at these, I mean, you can see it right here. You see no radar in any of those boats there, but you see lots of DACA. It's all about the DACA. But, yeah, so a little difference in philosophy. We do have Paul John's Life in the House. Hey there, how are you doing? How are you doing? This is me having some fun. It's a birthday present for a friend for tomorrow. Well, later today. But this is something I used to do all the time, and it has been many years since I've had a chance to do anything even remotely resembling this. So I'm just having me a blast. And I hope you guys don't mind. Because again, we're still technically counting this as part of my birthday. At least I say it is. Let's get some of our light there. Let's That horizon line's a little too solid there for being that far back, so we are going to muddy that up just a bit, like you do, quite literally. Okay, that helped. Don't jinxed with the cheer. Here, let's get some of those. Let's get some of them pink things. He really likes those. Yes, he does. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. I was hoping that this wouldn't be too just downright unusual for folks. They're used to seeing me doing miniatures. They've heard me talking about 2D art. And maybe this wasn't exactly the 2D art they had in mind. I'm sneaky that way. Now let's get some of our smaller brushes in here and let's mess around with some rigging, shall we? Just gonna get this nice and watery here. Actually, I wish that the one thing I wanted to load up actually was it's a picture of a wolf that I did, or it was just a dog portrait, and it was done using miniature paint just like this, except on a 2D painting just like this. Alright, let's get some rigging here now. And just some suggestions of it. No radar in sight. All kind of done visually. Let's get some more of our nice little thin lines here for some rigging, like you do. Go this way. Oh, what Garuzius, how you doing? Out in Calvadia. Let's see, when your birthday is on a Friday, then you get the whole weekend. I like it. I like birthday weekends. Well, actually, we've got a little... Kathy's birthday is in October, and we just call it Kathytober. So, I'm not quite sure how we make this, my June. But I claim... Who knows? Maybe I should just claim the entire month of June. I mean, I'm good with that. I'm totally down with that. I am completely down with that, but I don't know. Birthday month? Yes. I am all in favor of that legislation. I all in favor say aye, and I am the only person who matters, so I say aye, which means I get a birthday month. Now we can start doing some smaller things. Let's start doing some of those AA mounts forward of our super firing turrets. We need some more maggot white out here, don't we? Yes, we do. There we go. Oops, that doesn't go there. Where are we at here? We're going to do some more of our... Right here on our bow again. Anchor chain. Let's get some more of this wake on this side. Can start to work look at this, smaller brush now. Starting to do some more detail-y like things. Like you do. Start out with the big old brushes, doing the nasty stuff. Then eventually not so nasty. Let's get some regular light now on top of some of our superstructure elements. Obviously not quite as bright as what's being cast by our firing over here, but yeah, let's get that spar with a little more light on it. Let's get our windows with some light over on this side too. Start to bring out some more of our forward turrets. Your AA mount here. Crazy local range control. Let's see what we can. Do we need some separation between those barrels? Let's go. Let's get a little bit of that faded ultramarine. What's left of it, anyways. Let's get some separation in these guys. Now let's have, if it's, good, active enough. What I would like to do is that. There we go. Perhaps a little bit lighter. I'm a right-hander, so I gotta hold it this way. So sorry. Our ship has just taken on a little bit of a list. No, this is not the St. Istvan healing over. It's just a little rough seas at this point, that's all. That's better. Let's get some more right in between these barrels here. I think some more back here too. Yeah. Again, a little more definition never hurts. Oh, thank you, Paul John's Life. It is appreciated. Yeah, this is what I wanted to be doing. Actually, at this time last night, that was the plan anyway. But when I went into, because I had to do the stupid update thing, right? And because I also had OBS open on a different machine in the house, which also had to do an update, it basically killed all of my picture and scenes. My scenes were just toasted, just destroyed. They were all gone. And I spent several hours last night trying to rebuild 3 weeks worth of scenes. Which is why I'm extending my birthday, because I feel like I lost several hours of it doing things that didn't need to be redone again. So obviously we're starting to get a little bit of our glow now. A little bit of it onto the bridge here. So that starts to come forward, and the rest of that superstructure goes back a little bit more. Now there's also, again, there's a bunch of life rafts sitting on top of these turrets. So we're just kind of catching the edge of those things here. If you're wondering what the heck this stuff is on top of the turrets that I'm trying to paint here. Let us get... Oh, that is still... Okay. Looking to get for each of... There we go. I need to get that a little lighter. And the edge of our turret there. Let's see. What is next? Where are we at here? This also connects. We need a connection here. There we go. So again, that is also starting to make these guys look a little bit more rounded. You need a well-rounded ship. What do we need? Something in here. I'm going to see what happens when I do a little bit of this. It's just kind of very watercolory here. In some ways, it's darn near palette sludge at this point. Okay, yeah, so I just kind of scumbled in a little bit of the lighter, kind of yellowish color there. What's going to happen on the opposite side of Yeah, let's get some more of our lighter blue in this side here, on this side of the turret. Like you do. Okay. Get superstructure elements here. I'd like to get some more. Where's my... Here it is. Get some more lighter elements here. Oh, I'm gonna pull out this pale. No, this is bright ivory here. Let's use bright ivory. Let's chuck you out on the palette there. I think we have just a little bit of our, yeah, we got a little bit of our sky blue left here. Looking to get a few lights right here on the edges of some of these waves. Boom, here. And definitely as we get closer to our, as we get in our foreground here, gonna make these maybe even a touch lighter. Also break those up. It's kind of like the highlights that I do in the non-metallic metals. You see me break those up all the time. It's more interesting than just a straight up line. Ah, that's better. That's better. We need to do a similar thing now on some of these waves here. We got to get that brightest crest on that wave. And I'm going to throw out some more of the Pro Acrylic Yellow here. After ripping that off, there we go. Some yellow. Mix that with our bright ivory over here. Maybe even a touch of the fluorescent yellow. Poof. And yes, we've been using fluorescent paints here. I mean, why not? Why not? And I'm looking for some light edges right along this here, especially, can you see that one? And you can see we put a few extra stair steps in our wave here. We will do some of that here. Let's get it even lighter. Back here, because that literally just that's just actually paper right there. That's just matte board. There's no actual paint there. We need some. Also, I don't want to lose the orange though, so let's mix up just a bit of this here. We got a couple of smaller waves in this. Is this okay? I know it's a little bit on an angle. I apologize for that. So there it is. That's a little bit more flat to the, or angled correctly to the camera, so you can kind of get a little better view maybe of it that way. Here's some orange mixed in with that yellow. Even this was getting a little bit bright in some places, so we're gonna take that down just a bit. It's constant modification, constantly adjusting. Let's go back to some of our larger brushes again. I'm just going to look at my one reference there, and that's it. We haven't really messed with this area in quite a while. So again, we're using the finger blending routine here. Now you can see that a little better, I think. We're gonna do some scumbling of this. We got hard edges up here that maybe we're going to just dissipate a bit. I'll leave that be So I want to get me some of my red back out here. I'm just going to throw some clear red. That's just some of the Reaper. Yeah, clear red. Mix that in here. Let's see if we can do a little bit of, there we go, finger blending again. Now we're starting to fade that edge a little bit. It's not quite as hard of an edge anymore. Hashtag finger blending is fun. There's some more. Gonna put some of that back here, and again, just don't need an airbrush when I got a finger. Oh, let's get some more. Just some of a very translucent orange colors here. What I'm going to do though is I got plenty more of these number 12 round craft brushes, like so. Some fresh fluorescent orange. A little bit of the fluorescent yellow. And it's not necessarily actually it's a lighter glaze. It's not going to glaze it darker. It's actually going to, in some cases, make it a little bit lighter. It's also going to make it that much more intense. Because, I mean, hey, we don't have enough fire intensity in this. Let's see. Oh, Gridlux has just redeemed the Book of Wappel. So I think we just did a reading of an ancient tome. Let's get some of our later ones here. So this is Book of Wappel, Chapter 13. Hey, I'm all in favor of Bert. Look at that. Think long, think wrong. No kidding. I see people literally just put themselves in a state of frenzy. They can't think anymore because they've thought too much. Oh, but look at this. He who shall not work on the entire figure at once shall never know context. And that goes for 2D art. Just like that. I certainly wasn't working on just the face or the cup or the dress or whatever. I was working on every part of that at the same time. Same thing with Jakar and Londo. Same thing with Mr. Wolf there. It applies to miniature ships and these ships. It applies to everything. Yes, sir. Oh, look at this now. Look at that. I've been waiting a while for this. I've been waiting like, good 45 minutes or so to be, look at this. That's what I've been waiting for. Yeah. That's fun. Oh, Angry Ham is still a bit, if time flows different when you stream. Well, it was one of my longtime favorite athletes would also utter that phrase. Let's see. Question about oil and minis. Will any primer paint do, or you need a special kind? There is one true primer, and that's your Steino Res. There's 18 colors of this. These are the ones I use the most. And there just was this light flash. This should be ebony flesh, and this is red brown or something like that. Yeah, red brown. That's what I use. There's actually some other nifty colors like slate blue, and then there's this one here. What the heck is this called? Dull pink. This is actually kind of a neat one to do on, let's say you were going to do something nurgly. You actually prime it pink like that, and you do your green washes over the top of it. Very fun. This is definitely the happy unbirthday for me. Well, Babylon 5. That was not yesterday. Nope. Well, because I lost several hours yesterday, I thought I was going to be streaming basically last night at this time, and because Streamlabs just completely ditched all of my scenes and everything, and I had to spend hours rebuilding those, I called that as a foul. That was a personal foul. And I just said, nope, I just lost part of my birthday to just sitting here putting more pictures back up on the screen that were there for weeks. And I said, I claim more time for my birthday. And that's how I roll. That is how I roll. I'm also going to roll with some darker stuff back here too. There's my orange. That's more like it. That needs to fade more into the background, so we will do that. We're going to do that now. Just gonna, there we go, break up these things. Smaller and smaller segments. We just mix some red into that. Now that starts to head towards the backdrop just a bit more. Also going to, here, let's get some of our, we'll just knock that down. Constantly adjusting. Don't be afraid to make those adjustments. Again, some dark over here. Oh, what's happening on this side? What's happening over here? So again, let's get that, that's more like it. We got these life rafts again, and I'll show you here. Well, either one of these will show up pretty well. See, again, life raft sitting up on top of our gun mounts there. Ah, there's the brush I'm looking for. I was like, where the heck did my brush go? Now I'm going to do the gun cowlings here. There's my, do I have, oh, look at that. Faded ultramarine is, it's still alive and kicking. There we go. Okay, we've got our, again, basically that just, that sort of keeps the water from getting down into your turret, which is not really handy when you got a turret that probably weighs about 1,700 tons, and then you put, I don't know, a few more tons of water in it. That's never good for buoyancy and seaworthiness. Yeah, lessons of the sea. Well, okay, to give you a little indication of how I am about boats. Oh, Eep Cheap Nate is in the house. How are you doing? This is a happy extended birthday. We have declared in Wappelville that the birthday has been extended, especially since I'm painting someone else's birthday present right now. So I'm basically claiming part of theirs, which, I don't know, that sounds fair to me. He ain't got a choice. He will gladly volunteer part of his birthday to me. At least I think he should. Let's get that torpedo blister over there on that side. Again, anchor mounts. Doing that over here. Little reflected light there. Let's get the, yeah. I want some more, just a touch more of my sky blue on that side. What the heck? Let's just go crazy with that. There. So to show you how much I am into things, the nature of the sea, for a birthday a while back, and it was, I don't know, a good 7, 8 years ago, Kathy got me a book of Tales of the Sea. So there was sea shanties in there. And there were some saucy ones. Holy smokes, there were some saucy sea shanties. Say that 10 times fast and not get yourself kicked off of Twitch. I ain't doing that. Otherwise, you'll never be seeing me on here again. Let's see. Oh, Angry Ham is getting into some late breakfast. Yeah, well, it's 4:07 here now. It's belated and extended. Yes, like I said, we just, the Greater Republic of Wappelville has declared that I deserve an extended birthday. Just taking some of my friend's birthday, claiming it as my own. Because, why not? Okay, now we've got same effect like we have here. Same effect going on. Let's get some darks down. Yes. Too much light stuff here on the deck. We need something that's darker. Like the rest of the 6-inch turret mount. Breaking up some more of these shapes like you do. Then, if I've got any of my faded ultramarine left, I'm going to see if I can. This is going to be a bit more of a glazy type thing here. Yeah, there's a technical term you can use. Glazy. So yeah, there's too much of basically a hard stripe right there. I'm just trying to take some of that away. Like you do. Let's take away some more of that. Ah, that's better. So less like a series of lines and more like a shaded area. Much better. And no, it didn't just capsize. It didn't just turn turtle. I promise. Let's get our there. they're rangefinders after all. They need to be looking out of it somewhere. So let's get them some windows. Yeah, yes. I think we've got these looking more vertical now. Torpedo blister again, which once, as I said before, it did not exactly work as planned. Yeah, well, another little fun fact and story. The Taranto raid done by basically 19 British biplanes, and yes, they were biplanes. They were fairy swordfish. Now, there's a name for an aircraft that strikes terror into every sailor. But yeah, they called them string bags. They were literally canvas and string. And they launched 19 of these at night to a well-defended harbor. I mean, they had, and the Italians, they knew they were coming. They heard them. They had torpedo nets. They had searchlights. They had all this stuff. And yet these 19, well, actually, no, it was 18, because one of them never made it there. They were actually able to do enough damage to the Italian ships that they moved the entire, well, the ships that weren't sunk, they moved them across the Adriatic, effectively taking them out of action. And another company or another country just happened to watch that and said, that is not a bad idea. Wonder where we could do that. So that was, yeah, the Battle of Taranto definitely led to some other events. We'll just leave it at that. If you got pizza for cake, did you get cookies? Those, I have a feeling, those are going to be today. That's why we didn't get cake here, because, well, tomorrow is, like I said, it's an extended birthday. I'm taking part of Roy's day, and I would believe there will be cake, and there will be cupcakes, and there might also be rum chata. I don't know. There could be. I cannot confirm nor deny my love of horchata, and if you just throw some rum in there with it, the fact that that might make it even more delectable. I'm just saying. Just saying. Now we're gonna look at this. We're gonna start to work some. This is just a fluorescent yellow. A little touch of the orange. That starts to get more of a glow. This starts to become more of a white hot sort of a thing over here. I think we're also going to tone these down just a bit, give them a little bit more of a yellow there. Let's see, getting some late breakfast. Horchata, man. I could actually intravenously, if you can consume horchata intravenously, I would do that actually. And there's a, well, just a place that's 50 yards from here, maybe more like 60 yards from here, that pretty much has it on tap. I mean, I have just considered sticking my head underneath the tap and just turning it on. Now, that would probably not be super good for like sugar levels, I would assume, but before you die of whatever kind of insulin type over thing, hey, it would be very tasty while it lasted. What am I? I want this. There we, just like what we did over here. Why do we not have one here? That settles a problem. And then let's get a little bit of the rest of our 6-inch mounts fire. Let's start to clean these guys up. Maybe giving them a little more extension. Again, fluorescent yellow mixed in with some of our, oh yeah, let's do this. We haven't really done much of this. Literally kind of highlighting our clouds here. If I turn it this way, I think you can see it a little better. Oh, Eepjeet is going to pass out for tonight. Oh, yeah, it would. Yeah, sadly. Still, I can dream of literally like a horchata bath. I mean, just literally just put yourself in a bathtub filled with horchata. That's not wrong at all. Let's get some of that over here, except I am going to get a bit more of my fluorescent yellow back out here. Again, it's just the, oh, look at this. We're actually using regular acrylic paint to do an acrylic painting. What's this madness of me using something actually for its original intended purpose? That's not right. I shouldn't be doing that, but I am. Okay, a little more of our highlighting on the interior of our blast there. Starting to have some waves now coming out. Oh, what about the Vittorio back here? Maybe some back there too. More of my yellow. Keeps it from getting too lemony. Again, some highlights on the interior. How's about a couple little lights on my superstructure again? Thinking about the tops of the cowlings on those, on our muzzles. Going to give that top of that barrel just a bit of a highlight. We'll do that here too. Okay. So these must be, they got to be 15-inch guns on here because it was meant to counter the Dunkirk class. That's what it had. And then some of your German ships were built to then counter also the Dunkirk class. You know, the British, Japanese, Americans, they were already moving on to 16-inch guns. Well, the Japanese were moving on to 18-inch guns. Yeah, Washington Naval Treaty kind of, at that point, was like, haha, right. That giant ship, that only weighs 10,000 tons. Well, that and 42,000 extra tons. Now I got a nice blast wave forward. I want to get some of that right here. We've got it. We got some off-white. Here's our yellow to keep it from getting too grayish. And this is my target zone right there and there. Also here. One little couple of just wave breakers right there. Boom. See, a couple little dots like that breaks up that wave. I think a couple dots on the wake over there. We got some wake of this. Now, what are we gonna do up here? That has got to be. Yeah, let's use some of this grayish blue here. Aha, there we go. That's gonna make more sense. Because I mean, why was this? Was there so much of the yellow reflected in that? I'm actually even gonna take down a little more of it here. There we go. Now that's okay. What was happening? This your rearward ship over here was actually starting to kind of attract more attention visually because of the wake than the lead ship. So we just knock that down. And then I can always come back in. Give me a little bit of the orange. We'll just do right here. That's enough. Oh, let's like we did over here, let's line this up. So right in there somehow. Okay, that is good. And breaking that up into smaller and smaller waves. And some of these are the original brushstrokes that we threw on here. Geez. Well, actually, it hasn't been quite 2 hours here. Oh, Calvetti, I moved out of Chicago about a year ago. I missed the El Gallo that was by my house and their horchata. Oh, man. It is... Well, I'm hoping that maybe there will be rum chata there. It's like horchata plus. That's what's wrong with horchata plus. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I wish I had been able to get some of my Spacescape pictures. Like I said, you want to check out some of the 2D art, just head over to the blog. There's a link on the, what the heck do you call it? My homepage, my Twitch homepage, or whatever the heck it's called. Go over there, check out the blog, and there's a whole 2D art section. You'll see Celtic art there. You'll see me painting on drums. Heck, I used to paint on slumped glass. It was a paint called Pebeo or PBO, whatever. It was a French company, and basically you could paint on something like a ceramic tile or a piece of glass or whatever, and then you would stick it in your oven, and it would actually fire it to that whatever. You could make a ceramic tile, and it could be one of those like a serving thing, right? Whatever, you put your cooking utensil on it, kind of a decorative. Well, we actually still have one of those, because I used to actually sell stuff at Renaissance fairs, Celtic fests. I mean, that's what I did for a living, was 2D art for many years. For longer still, even though I've been doing miniatures almost 20 years, 2D art was the primary thing. Oh yeah, okay, rangefinder here, this here, forward AA guns. thinking a little more of my orange effect here. Let's soften this up, but just get, there we go. It's a little different way of softening things up. Let's see. Have you ever done body painting on pretty ladies or dudes? There was one. Let's see. What was the convention? It was a Convergence years and years ago. It was a charity thing, and some poor person volunteered to be the victim of that. I say victim because they were freezing. I mean, here's like 5 different people painting with acrylic paint using ice cold water, and hotels are frigid. They're already refrigerators to start with, and here's just, oh, that person was shivering not long into it. I don't know if you count hair coloring as body painting, but I'm the person that colors Kathy's hair. So I've been doing that for years. Actually, if you watch her on her broadcast, that hair color, that was done by me. So I call that one-to-one bust painting. Now what I'd like to do, and she won't let me, but is do something like that. She won't let me do that though. That would be very fun. Just do some food coloring or something like that. Make her blue and purple, except not tell her that it's not food coloring, and then she's just blue and purple, like for a while. Let's see. Oh, Jinx is gonna finally. Jinx will now go get that sleep that she promised herself. Yes, and I will soon need to be doing that myself now that it is 4:24 in the morning. But thanks for watching. Well, thanks for the raid too. It's appreciated. Make sure you follow Jinx, but I'm sure pretty much everybody here is doing that. But if you're not, you need to join that club. You know what? I'm just there. I just feel like some more lights there are needed. Again, give that superstructure the roundness that I think it should have. Where's my... there you are. I wish to have some more interesting light on the anchor. And on this side. The whole, yeah, we got this. It's all very orangey and stuff, but I'm feeling like I should have something more back here. I can always double check that by, boom, making it black and white. And let's see, what do I... there's a hard edge there. That's got to go away. That's too much of an edge there. We got to do something about that, because that's just bring them out there too much. And you don't necessarily have to deal with hard edges quite so much on miniatures, but you do on 2D art. That's a thing. And we're gonna do some management on that here. Simple enough. Zoink. Hard edge gone. Let's get back to my lighter stuff over here. Now I'm going to do this. I want to make sure I've got these things as parallel as possible. I'm going to do some stuff on a spar or two. Get the observation windows here. Let's get some light under here as well. That's more like it. Oh, what's going to happen right here? Bringing out these. So that the gun barrel looks like it's got that little cowling on it there. Probably a canvas style. Although that would seem kind of flammable. I'm not quite sure what those were made out of. Those little wraps on the barrels there to make sure that you don't get in heavy seas, some wash getting up into your turret. That's not good because those guys probably don't want to be swimming inside the turret. Just guessing. That's just a guess on my part. Should definitely let you do something like that. I think so. I mean, that's fair. It would be, it would be great for conventions if we get to go to those again. You would certainly stand out. I think you would. Once again, this is where I can start to really fish around for some extra little stuff here. Let's do some orangey glow. But basically, first I have to start out with, let's grab me some, what is this, pale yellow. Let's throw this out here real quick. Boom. Look at that. Look at how that looks next to the fluorescent yellow. It looks darker than the freaking fluorescent yellow. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay. Because I want to do this. Now, we actually have a bow on this ship. Now, I'll do a little bit of that back here, but not as much. Now I'm going to go back over here again. Really hit this up nice. Let's take some of our orange, some of our yellow. And then we just kind of tint this here. Like you do. Now we've got ourselves a nice little leading edge here on the bow. Thank you very much. We also want to there. I mean, heck, there were still some ships being made at this time that had basically the inverted bow, whereas, well, ships like the bigger ships like Yamato, your Iowa class and such, they had that hurricane bow. Way more efficient as far as getting through the water because, well, even in some of the World War I era, they were still thinking of ships as ramming each other. That's a great idea. You can destroy a ship from 20 miles away, but yet you're still going to make a prow that can ram something. That's a good idea. That's a solid plan. Jim talks ships and stuff. That's what tonight is. I wish to get... Oh, look at that. Yeah. There we go. And another one right there.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Thank you so much for the follow, Ashantir. I appreciate it. So does Gandalf. Because, again, he appreciates it when the ganja is sparked. I'm just going to get me some more of my fluorescent yellow and orange mixed together into here. At a certain point, it actually becomes almost like a darker glaze. So here, we'll tilt it for you. You can see what's happening there. Oh, good. I still have some clear red. That's good because I want to do... And I'm just kind of tilting this brush on its side. We're going to give this a little more shape out here. It just can't be one solid mass like that. Same here. Kind of get some little more billowing clouds of smoke and ash. Maybe some in here that's going to be darker. Oh, just a little bit here, and we'll do a little bit of finger stuff. Some more out here. Yeah. And just setting that brush on its side like you do. Touch more. Look, let's get some of the... Yeah, that's gonna make that a little bit softer now too. We got some hard edges here that really just shouldn't be hard edges. We'll knock this down to... Yep. Because we want this to be... That's where our center of focus wants to be. Or at least that's where we want it to be. Also, I think... Gonna knock down some of this here. Maybe even here. Yeah. Better. Oh yeah. Definitely better. And even our little highlight along here. So I'm just gonna basically glaze that a bit towards the orange, right? Back to my yellow. That's the fluorescent yellow, by the way. Let's see. Oh, well, thanks, Angry Ham. I appreciate that. This is, well, like I said, if you go to the blog there, you will be rewarded, especially if you check out the one that's basically the portrait of a dog.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Thank you so much, said Saj Totsk. I'll just go Shadstosk. I will say that. And if you ever just want to do like a phonetic writing out of how the name should be pronounced, that's actually appreciated too, because then it makes it easy for me to know how I should say that name correctly. There we go. But also, they're on the YouTube channel. I've got 2 painting videos now. Unfortunately, they're I call it the dead pet gallery because they were unfortunately portraits of pets that they're not among the living anymore. They went to doggy heaven or kitty heaven. But I've done a few of those, and it's with miniature paint, just like this. This is the same paint that I use for miniatures. All of this stuff here, it's a collection of Pro Acryl paints, Reaper paints, and these again, which I use on miniatures. Let's not knock all these things down, but I mean, are the ideas, the principles are very much the same on this guy or on this picture here. I'm just going to get me a drink here real quick. Now that's better. And look at this, working. Same kind of palette mess, right? Same sort of thing you would normally see. Working really loose and everything at the start, and then we start to kind of tighten things in. Remember, these, you didn't think you were going to see any windows at all, much less some actual shading on those windows. I think I'm running out of my fluorescent orange. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's like, wait a minute. I just had some. Where'd that go? That right there. That is just, we are gonna do something with that. I'm thinking some kind of, there we go. It's just a little bit too stark. See that? We took out that edge right there. It was just too stark of an edge. Just the same kind of principle what we did over here on the forward hull of the Vittorio. I think that was the Vittorio Veneto. Let's get those aft 6-inch mounts looking a little bit more juicy. So there's another hard line. That's got to go, or just be reduced in some way. See if I can find my sky blue again here somewhere. All right. Let's throw you out here. Boom, like that. Oh, we'll just use some of that off-white. That should do it. And all we're going to do is just break this out. Hang a little water in that. All right, that just now, that breaks up that line a little more. It's this weird dichotomy of I need difference, light and dark, but it just can't be a hard edge. That can be a hard edge right there. Why? Because your eye sees this, and this now goes to the background. Because we got to be illusionists here. I mean, it's a flat piece of board, right? We've got to convince people that there's distance here. It's not like a miniature where the distance is already there. Oh, we got Danny M in the house. I also need to drop that edge down a little bit, so we're going to do that right now. Come back to it from the other side. Almost a little bit of wet blending there. And now we get a little bit more action from our wake there, or from the bow. Let's go back here. Get a touch of this. Like you do. Okay, I think we've got that managed. We got this managed over here. There. 6-inch barrels, 15-inch barrels. I'm glad that I was able to get the faded ultramarine blue into the superstructure here. Because guess what? That's a warmer, even though it's a gray, it's warmer, and it makes that come forward. This blue here lets that recede towards the background. Again, we're just going to make those less of a series of lines and more a series of shapes. Oh, let's get a little extra rigging going right there too. Maybe a touch of reflected light right in here. That's going to be nice and gray. No, what we're doing right now is this is my extended birthday. I'm basically taking part of my friend's birthday here and claiming it as my own, as an additional part of my birthday, since this is for his birthday, and because Twitch just this was supposed to happen. This stream was supposed to happen like early on the 19th instead of here early on the 20th. So I'm claiming again this part of this day as mine. I do believe it is deserved. And he won't mind that I just take part of his day. Well, he doesn't have a choice. Because if he doesn't, then then this goes on my wall and not on his wall. And I'm the guy that's big into anything in regards to ships and the sea, so I would gladly keep this for myself. But I will be doing some more 2D stuff for sure as things go along. I promised folks some Bob Ross-esque landscapes with the oils. I actually have to get some more canvas boards for that, I think. You know what? This is what I want. Yes. This is also... We'll break this up again into smaller and smaller shapes. Smaller shapes here. There we go. Look at that. Okay, very nice. Going to tone this down, yeah. Get a little more reflected light in this hole. So we're going to try and bring out the anchor housing that's up here. Man, let's here we'll just go. So that these are basically the kind of ships that we are trying to work on here. And here's just your more technical drawing view of the ship that we are working on. And it is part of, so this is what kind of got me the idea of painting this here. So this is my Regia Marina right there. Yeah, very fun. And now we're back to our painting again. But now it is it's 4:43 in the morning, and we are going to say that this is done enough for present mode here. And I want to thank everybody that hung out. Jinx for the raid, Jinx for the bits, and all the subs and the follows. It is appreciated.